Hello, beautiful people. Robyn Thomas here with another book review, and this month is April. So I knew that when I purchased my April books, I wanted to go a little bit more subtle than when I read in March. I'm like, listen, books has me blushing, and it's been a full month since I finished reading the host. So if you want to go back and look at the review for the books that I read in March, then definitely do that because any one of those books is gonna get you right. But for today, I do have five books. So instead of six, I have five new books. I knew I wanted to I wanted to try some new reads, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself with trying new reads. So let's just hop right on into it. And I have been wanting to find male authors that write romance, right? So male authors that write romance, they don't have like all of the gangster stuff in there. Like I don't want to read about the hood life, the street life. I wanted to see what a love story from a male's point of view look like. Like, was it as detailed when it came to the spicy scenes? Like, how do they envision us as women? Like, we're always writing, we're as if I'm a writer, we're always writing like the male perspective in books and the things that we want to hear them say, which is why I'm sure it's like so good. But I really wanted to get a male perspective and see how they wrote romance, to see again, is it as detailed as ours? Like, what's important to them, or what is like too much fluff for them, or what's enough to satisfy them. And I was definitely pleased with Eric Jerome Dickey's Friends and Lovers. So this book, I felt like I was reading something out of the early 2000s. And after I read it, I did go to look it up. And I think it's the 1999 book. So y'all know, like with music, how things kind of flow. So it kind of flows. It gives the early 2000s flows, like coming out of the 90s, early 2000s. So it's about two groups of friends. So two women and two men. And one of the men and one of the women decided they start to date each other, and another friend just comes along as a what do you call it, the wingman, right? So you have, they both have their friends being the wingman to them, and those two friends also start to come together. Now these relationships are different. So one of them starts off pretty intentional, while the other one is just kind of like, we're just going with the flow. Like, I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to do nothing. Like, he look good and all that stuff, or she look good, but I ain't trying to, or whatever. And throughout the book, it literally shows you what happens. At least this is what I got from it. It shows you what happens when you're intentional and when you're not intentional, and how the relationships can go. And so I really, really enjoyed this book. I can say I wasn't like flipping the page, like, oh my God, what's happening next? But I was really like, flowing. And I was like, there were things that happened in the book that were heartbreaking. There were things that made you go like, oh my God. Like, there were different emotions that were pulled out of me while reading it, but I wasn't necessarily hysterical when those things were happening. I know it's like with some of my other books, I'm like, whatever. But with this one, I was just like, and I did. Oh, that's my stomach. I just ate. I don't know why it's doing that. But and I would just like laugh. There were times that I would laugh out loud, but there also were times where I just was like, most of the book, I was like, this is a really good read. Like, this is a really good story. It wasn't anything like too drastic. Um, Although they did have some drastic things that happened like in this book, it was a really easy read. It was a real smooth read, and I also like to like, it was like a time travel, right? So like I said, it's from written, I believe, I hope I'm saying this correctly, it was written in 1999. And so you get to jump back to really get the feel of how they talked back then, what was popular, what was important, what was big, what was not, so I thought it was really a really, really good book. And apparently he has like a lot of books, right? he's deceased from my understanding. Lord, if this man is not deceased, I am sorry. But from my understanding, he is deceased. But he does have like at least 30 books. And I'm about to basically make my way into reading. Keeps falling. I'm about to make my way into reading his books. And so this was actually the second book of this is his second book that he's written. So I think I'm gonna go back to the first one and then just keep going on and on. Because for me, it's hard for me to go backwards. Like once I read somebody's work, and the writing is really good and they've basically made it to the caliber of where they are, it's hard to go backwards because it's like, ooh, you know. But yeah, so that's my plan throughout, I guess, the rest of this year to read some more of his books. So yeah. Eric Jerome Dickey, Friends and Lovers. The reader is hooked from the first sentence. Yes, I was. This is really good. This is really good. Okay, so my second book is Off the Charts by Z Renee. So I was looking for another Z Renee book because I loved All In. All In is one of the ghettoer books that I will still like read and really loved and was like a roller coaster of emotions while I was reading it. So I did want to find another Z Renee book, and I wanted to find a standalone. Before I get into the review, I just want to talk about that a little bit. So when I purchased the book, I seen on the bottom it says the Sweetest Lesson series. But when I looked at the top, if you buy off of Amazon, do you know they'll have the author's name where you can press the name and see the other books that they have. And then if it's a series, it'll say book 1 of 5 or something like that. Because I didn't see that, I just assumed it was the first book in the series. Listen here. That's me angrily turning pages. So it say, hold on, make sure I find the one where it says, this is book 6. What? Book 6? I was, listen, for me, when it comes to a series, I gotta start from the beginning. I have to start from the beginning. Because if I don't, I feel like everybody that you've mentioned, I should know more about them. And that's exactly how I felt about reading this book. But anyways, although it is in a series, I will say this, although it is a part of a series and it's number 6 in the series, all of the books are standalone. And the reason why I was unable to find it, I believe I was unable to find it because there are multiple authors. So it's just not 2. There may be 6 different authors for every one of the books in this series. So that's why I think I wasn't able to find it. Now that I have found it, book 1 can only be read on a Kindle. If y'all haven't figured it out, I like to have physical copies of books. So I'm basically not going to start the series from the beginning until I can get book 1 as a physical copy. Then I'll go down the list. So hopefully they continue to make productions there. But I am rambling. Let's get into this book. So Z Renee, oh my gosh, so she gives all these like disclaimers, because if you've read All In, it's the only other book I've read of hers, which is why I'm referencing it. If you've read All In, then you know how she gets down. All In was almost 700 pages. It was some hood stuff. It was some really explicitly spicy scenes. I mean, she goes in. She gives you a disclaimer and here to tell you that that is not at all what you're going to get from these books, right? Or from this book. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know, as long as it's good, I don't need that, right? I don't need all the super hood and ghetto stuff. Like, I can only take those in spurts, right? So I'm like, that's fine, baby. So I'm expecting this to be like really, really chill. Listen here, the first chapter of this book, my mouth was to the floor because what? It's no. We ain't jumping off like this. Like, this is what's never gonna get started. And from then on, the book was really, really, really good. Now, Vase has been divorced for 5 years, and Jersey is coming out of a 10-year relationship where her boyfriend slash baby's father basically never wanted to marry her, and we find out why very early on in the book. Oh my goodness. But she's basically in this point of like, I'm just going with the flow. I'm just gonna focus on my son and find out who I am, because I've been with somebody for 10 years and I don't know myself outside of this relationship. Where you have Base, who is like, um, it's been 5 years. Nobody has caught my attention but this woman. So I think I'm ready to go ahead and hop back in and to give this love thing another try. This book is funny. This book is spicy. Not as detailed as her other book. I ain't gonna lie. When I was reading it, I was like, I feel gypped. I want more. Like, I want another 700-page book, because I think it would have been even better if we could have gotten like even more detail. But nonetheless, it was an amazing read. Okay, so the next book is The Beauty of This Street Love, A Texas Tale by L. Kaysen. Now, if you know, L. Kaysen is the author of Demon's Dream. So, y'all know I came in here with high expectations. I'm talking about expectations was up to the tippity top. Now, what I did not find out before I opened this book was if this was written before Demon's Dream or after Demon's Dream. As I mentioned before, I have problems reading backwards because most of the time they elevate in their writing and in their craft, and it's better as they age, like within their career or their, I'm looking for a word, I can't find it, but yeah, as they age in their talent or something. And also, L. Kaysen is also another person, or Demon's Dream is also another 700 pages, right? So I'm going in with this with very high expectations, and I'm going to keep it honest. There are a lot of characters. It was rushed. I feel that it was going really, really fast. I feel like it was very unrealistic, if I'm being honest with you. Um, but I couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. I couldn't put the book down. I was flying through these pages like it was so bad. It was so good. Like, and not to mention, there is a, oh, oh look, I reread it. I was like, wait, this is how it is, right? So this is the last page of the book. This is the last page. It don't have no to be continued. None of that stuff. It just ends. There is nothing after that. I was literally reading, when I was finishing reading this book, I was like, hold on. I'm literally reading this book and I'm like, okay, the pages are dwindling and there's no conclusion here. What is happening? Like, this is terrible. This is so terrible. Did not know that it is a part of a series. So there are two other books that go along with this. And I'm like wipes forehead, because as bad as it is, I need to know what's going to happen next. Okay, so this is probably one of the sweetest books I've read this month. It is by A.E. Valdez, and it is called All I've Wanted, All I've Needed. Now, this is a part of a series. How are these series books? So this is a part of a series, and I'm actually trying to get to number 4 in this series, which is A Worthy Love. I've heard so many great things about it, but as we've established, I need to know the people in these books so that I can be able to refer back to them if that's the type of book that it is. Sometimes there are standalones, sometimes they're not. And I just can't be taking chances out here. I need to know everything that's going on when you mention a person's name or this event or something. I need to be able to say, oh, okay, I remember that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to start from the beginning. And the beginning was, again, A.E. Valdez, All I've Wanted, All I've Needed. And when I tell you this is It's so cute. So sometimes so going with the flow works, and you can flow right into the love of your life and a happily ever after. And that's exactly what happened here. So you have the main character, who is Harlow, who was in a relationship for 2 years, and she was actually just proposed to, and she basically told him no. And when she told him no, she realized, why would I say no to what some would deem as the perfect life? Well, she had to stay true to herself. And in her staying true to herself, she decides to or in this book, I just feel like, man, to me, I felt like I was seeing God work, throughout this whole book, right? So she's going through this while she's trying to get comfortable, right, with not being with the person who she was with, or living the lifestyle that she was living, and trying to find herself in a sense, and new adventures and things like that. She has decided that she's just, gonna focus on herself. Baby, I think I've said this before. Good women, you really can't be alone. Like, it just is, when a man sees a good woman, he, and not all cases, but most cases, when a man sees a good woman and he's a good man, he be like, yeah, I need that. I need that. I need to take care of you because I need to keep you happy and smiling and pure and all that good stuff, right? So she meets Asen, who is a total butthead. Like, I just no other way to describe him. But he's somebody who has basically, when people see him, they see how good he looks. They see that he owns his own business, and he looks like the bad boy and all that type of stuff. They basically are very surface level, and he wants something that's not surface level. So when he runs into Harlow, or he's introduced to Harlow, through his sister, he's like, I think I like her. And I like her because she's not how other people have been when it comes to me, right? So thirsty is basically what he's saying. And this is really a book about her letting go of her past, and moving into new things, and really being blessed and finding out how good God can get. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't even know if I don't think God was mentioned in this book. He may have been, but all I know is when I was reading this, I was like, look, choose you, stay true to yourself, and watch how good God can just, I mean, just like that, right? So it was a really nice, easy love story. Definitely ready for the second one, and then the third one, and then to a worthy love. Okay, so I read, read. Okay. I'm laughing because I feel like BB Reed, she got a dark mind. She got a dark mind, but I feel like BB Reed, when I say I want to read something different, I feel like anytime I feel that way, I can pick up a BB Reed book, because what did I just read? What did I just read? Again, what did I just read? Okay, so I have been, I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to be very honest with you all. In the Gray, I'm still blushing off of In the Gray. And so, again, going in with high hopes, going in with high hopes for Crucible. And I, the whole time I was reading, I was very unsure if I liked it or if I didn't like it. I know. I was like, and I kept trying to figure out what is this feeling like. I'm not in love with this story, but I can't put it down. But it's not necessarily a page turner. And there were a lot of emotions that were going on while I was reading it, and I think I have the perfect I think I have the perfect way to explain it. So when your man is watching a show that you have absolutely no, like, you would pass it so quick as you're clicking and looking at your options. So your man picks this show, and you look at it and you go, what you finna watch? And he tell you, and he kind of describe it to you, and you like, yeah, okay. And I'm not watching that. So I'm gonna be on my phone. I'm gonna Pick a book and read. But then as it's playing, you find yourself steady looking up, and then you find yourself putting down whatever thing that was keeping you occupied. And throughout the reading, or excuse me, throughout watching the movie or whatever show it is, you like, ooh, you know, or you like, oh, that's interesting, or you like, that did not just happen. That is what this book is. There were many parts in here where I was like, okay, okay, like I felt like I was reading like, like I didn't know if I wanted to read it or not, but it was really good. It was this book was so well written. And I sometimes I have those books. I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but sometimes I have those books where I find out that I like it after I set it down, and kind of it's rested on me a little bit. I had a book like what's it called? Landing on Mars was like that for me, that I read last year. That I was like, I don't know if I like this book or not. And then I couldn't find myself not thinking about it, right? So even while reading a book and I was like, I don't know if I like this or not. Like I literally halfway through I almost set the book down, but I decided not to because I'm like, I don't dislike it. The writing isn't bad. The everything about the book was nice. You know what I'm saying? Like the writing is good. There's no grammatical errors. Whatever little things you can think of, it's good, right? But at the same time, I'm just not sure if I mean, look at this. This is like bear claws. Like I Crucible, like what was I thinking purchasing it? But I was thinking BB Reed. So duh, this is what I'm gonna say. This leaves on a cliffhanger. So this is a series, Me and Me series. I did not know that that's what I was doing this month, but it leaves on a cliffhanger, and I have to know what's going to happen. Like I have to know how this is going to end, because this book is filled with so much stuff. So you have this singer who has basically been in the custody of her uncle since she was like 10 years old, and you just find out that the limelight glam life is not at all what it's cracked up to be. Like if you're going to be on top, you got to stay on top, and excuse me, you have to do things in B ways, and it can end up turning you into something that is very unpleasant for other people. And basically that's what she turned into. She turned into a B word. So her plane gets into this, her uncle, she gets into this scandal, and her uncle's like, well, you need to sit down and shut up somewhere, right? So I'm gonna send you to this. I got some property up in Canada, and I'm gonna send you here, and I need you to just lay low until I say you can come back out, because I'm sick of cleaning up your messes and different things like that, right? So when her plane crashes, it crashes on this mountain. Much stuff is happening. It's like the winter time, and it's bad out here. So she ends up finding this cabin, and she goes in the cabin, and she's exhausted. Like she's exhausted because she's been trying to basically survive, right? And so she gets to this cabin. She's like looking around, like, oh my gosh, maybe this is the cabin my uncle was talking about. I don't know, but I'm glad I'm here. And she's exhausted, and she ends up going to sleep. So there are three men who live in this cabin, y'all. And they come up on her, and they're like, did God just send her down from heaven for us? Like that is literally how these men are thinking, because they have been on this mountain for their own personal reasons, right? So they've been here for 9 years. They've been celibate for 9 years, and a very good-looking woman, damsel, if I can say, just fell into their bed. Like, yeah, I really like the content warning. Question: I don't know if I have triggers. Is this book for me? Answer: this dark romance unfolded in a safe space that fiction provides, which means I control the outcome. As we know, reality is rarely safe or predictable. If you understand it, then please press forward. If at any point this story becomes too much for you, Please bow out and feel no worse for it. I care about your mental health. Because I was reading this book like, I don't think I like that. I don't, this is not my normal love story. Like, I don't know if I like this. But I'm so glad I finished this book because I cannot wait to read the second one and see how this concludes. BB. BB! Okay, so that is the end of April's review. I keep want to say May. Those are the reviews, end of the month reviews for April. I really did enjoy this batch. I have another 6 that is on its way right now, and I can't wait to get into it. Until then, I'll see you beautiful people next time.